All right, everybody, welcome to the John Wick podcast. This is actually podcast number 5, if I remember correctly. And I've got two special guests on board tonight. Got Tomahawk and Darthman. How's it going, guys?
Hey, how's it going, man? Happy to be here
Doing
again.
good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, so Tomahawk, you were my first guest, and glad to have you back, man. And Darth, your first name is actually Mike. There's way too many Mikes in this world, and it's super confusing, but glad to have you aboard, man. So I want to start out with Darth, um, because Tomahawk went first. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike?
Just fuck, man. um, well, I mean, fully come into the light probably about a year ago. Not fully, you know what I mean, but definitely found Q17 probably. It was probably about a month after the first drop, and it was kind of funny how I found it. Was there was this name that kept popping up in my streams, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" You know, and everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's a bot, it's a bot."
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of looked into it, and lo and behold, started finding shit. And I mean, I've researched shit throughout my whole life, man. Just kind of always had an open mind about things and all that, and just started reading some of the shit, and it was just like, huh, all right.
So,
And yeah,
so it finally started to click for you, right?
oh yeah. And it was funny because I mean it was actually what probably it was probably about a year ago now. And my mom come to me and she goes, "Have you ever heard of this?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And she was like, "What do you mean, yeah?" And I was like, "Remember when I had like a half-assed mental breakdown 2 years ago on New Year's Eve?" It's like, this is the shit that I was talking about, Mom. So, I mean, yeah, it's all been kind of weird for me. Just actually seeing stuff happen, you know,
Yeah.
and just kind of watching it. And like, you get some of the people that are like, "Well, nothing's happening, nothing's happening." It's like, but if you just open your eyes, I mean, you can clearly see there's a lot of shit that is happening.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean that's the key thing is there's a lot of stuff that's going on that people are blindsided to, and especially when
Yeah.
it comes to mainstream media, they they shade it all, and
Oh yeah.
that's pretty cool that your mom actually mentioned that. So Tomahawk, or Carl, whatever you want to go by. I'm not John Wick. I'm Ryan. um, I've got a question for you, Tomahawk. So um, I know I've asked you this before, but how did your name come to be with Tomahawk?
Um, so middle name's Thomas. Growing up, the whole family, I was either Tommy or Thomas, and that just as I started coming to my own, it started just kind of transitioning to Tomahawk, and it's to the point now where it's like, "Hey, Grandma," and she's like, "Hey, Tomahawk." So it really just stuck, and then going and getting my freaking head blasted with the tomahawk tattoo really just kind of solidified it. So now even people that don't know me, that's just their instinct is just Tomahawk because I see one on the side of your freaking head.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because everybody, even Candy, my fiance, even she calls me JW or John Wick, and it's like I'm in her phone as John Wick. Like, come on, man, I'm Ryan. Come on. But it is what it is. We've created an identity, and that's fine. But I I'm kind of curious. So when when do you guys think? So everybody asks at the end of the day, when's everything going to go down? So obviously I'm not a big person on dates and when stuff's going to happen, but do you have faith in the plan? Because a lot of people right now are losing faith in Trump because he's per se pushing the vaccines. And I mean, Mike, I'll throw the mic over to you, no pun intended. But do you think that it's going to go down? Do you think it's going to go down soon, later, wherever? What do you think, man?
To be honest, man, like you said, the whole dates thing, like everybody gets caught up on dates. And I think that's where a lot of people start kind of like freaking out and then start losing faith in the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were never given any specific dates in any of the drops.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't know, like to me, if you look at DC, like right now, I mean, it's obviously under military control. And if you can't see that, I feel sorry. I really do.
Yep.
But it's like you don't build fences around compounds like that for no reason. The military is in control right now. And I think a lot of people are just, you have, and I've done it. I've set dates, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like I don't know. Just it's hard to explain. Like I just know that it feels right that shit is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I 100% agree. For whatever reason, when I watched the inauguration on the 20th, the only way that I can explain it is I knew that something was okay and I knew that it was right and it was meant to be. And call it whatever it is, but I don't know, it was just a feeling that I had. It was the
Yeah,
weirdest thing ever.
I mean, honest to God, man, I literally was laughing so hard watching the inauguration. I had literal freaking tears coming down out of my eyes.
Yeah.
And my boss comes out and she's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching the inauguration, laughing my ass up." She goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because this is the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah.
Like none of the military had any sort of decoration on.
Yeah.
When they placed the wreath, it wasn't them that placed the wreath, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just if you paid any sort of attention, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm one that I've learned more about politics and how things work in the past 4 years of my life than I ever did in school.
Yeah.
And the way things are done traditionally, military wise, none of it was done that way during that inauguration.
Yeah. And not to mention the Bible was completely different.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, we can go on for hours. We all know what really happened. So,
yeah.
Tomahawk, what's your take on everything, man?
I fully trust the plan, and I think a lot of what I think that we need to focus on as patriots, those in the know, the anons, is we need to remember that this movie is not for us. We already know what they're showing. We've already been told, we understand it, we've researched it. We know the movie is not for us. The movie is for those who are still asleep, and it has to be, it's being made so blatantly obvious in hopes that it's going to reach some of these people who refuse to see it. And I think that's where a lot of frustration comes in with the movement is, well, why do they keep doing this stupid stuff? And it's because they have to make it so dumbed down that people are going to be able to take this information in.
Yeah.
and we've said it from the beginning. It's too much information to just shove it all out at once.
Yeah.
People will be hospitalized. It will be mass chaos. And I think the plan is going just as it should. And with the whole dates, we could be off by years, but I don't care because I know that we're on the right side of it and it's worth fighting for. So here I am.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right, man. I mean, it's funny because one of the things I always tell people is, our plan in life has already been written by God. It's just our duty, or whatever it may be, to live it out. It's already been written. So at the end of the day, it's the same thing with this. It goes back to, it's going to be biblical. Um, but that's a great call out. But at the end of the day, you know, I appreciate both of you, because you guys are the ones that kind of revamps everybody on Twitter and brings people up. And that's why I wanted to bring you guys on.
And really, I think it's just a natural thing. I don't like seeing people down. I don't like negative feelings being shared. So just my natural instinct is to jump in and try to calm the situation down, maybe give people some hope. And like I said, we're on the right side. So I have no problem showing up every day, putting everything I have into it, because it's all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, Darth,
And you say that, and I'm sitting here and I'm the first one to jump in and talk shit to people, and then, but on the same hand, I'll be the first one that, well, not the first, but maybe the second to, hey, I need prayers,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's huge. The fact that when I think of a patriot, I don't think of anybody that is, storming a Capitol in Second Amendment rights, or has an AR-15 or whatever in their hands. That's not what I think of with a patriot. I think of somebody who wants to build up others, and somebody that wants to be a leader. And it has nothing to do with violence or anything like that that is portrayed by the left. And that's an awesome call out, Mike.
Well, I mean, like, you look at some of that stuff too, and I think what a lot of people need to do is just take a deep breath and realize that this stuff has been done for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find the videos of Hillary, you can find, and just doing just a little bit of simple research. And that's the thing too, is I think a lot of people were looking at bigger accounts, and I was guilty of it too. And I think what a lot of it was we thought that, oh, they have all the answers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, then I started doing more research, because like you said, I mean, probably 2 years, I didn't even look at any of the boards or any of that, and kind of given up hope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a little bit of backstory on that. I quit talking to God in 93 when my grandmother passed away.
Okay.
I have talked to God more in the past year than I think I've done in my whole life.
Wow.
And I mean, I pray daily now, which a lot of people, if they knew me, would be like, huh? But it's something, and I've talked to many people, and, laugh,
Yeah.
laugh. Laughing is a cure. It helps. Praying is a cure. It helps. And love and all that will come with it. and just spread happiness. I mean, I don't know any better way to put that.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. The one of my favorite quotes is actually Charlie Chaplin. He said, "A day without laughter is a day well wasted."
Yeah.
Um, you're 100%, man, and I love the fact that you post all these silly gifs or whatever it may be on social media, and you try to bring others up. So I think that's awesome. So Tomahawk, I do have a question for you, man. When you're ready.
I'm always ready.
So I I thought of you the other day when I saw something. I think I was actually watching a Hodge Twins video, which they're freaking hilarious.
Oh, I
But
love them.
they mentioned the whole racial divide with the military and how Kamala Harris is trying to basically infiltrate the military, and we know what's going on. Anyway, my question for you is you obviously have been in battle, and I don't know if it was active or not, that doesn't matter, but you have been in the military, and what's your take on having a black person beside you, and does that affect you when you are in active duty?
I don't think it affects anything one bit, I mean, and a lot of it has to do, I think, with the way you're brought up in the military, where all you notice is that uniform and that rank.
Mhm.
Whatever's under it is completely irrelevant. I really wish more of that thinking would transfer into the real world.
Yeah.
But I was squad. By the time I got out, I was squad leader, and I had 8 people under me, and 3 of them were black. I had Mason, who I still talk to this day, at least every other month, probably one of my best friends. And it didn't matter
Right.
whatsoever. We were all there. You're all doing the same job. We all had the same purpose, and most of all, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're no different. We're all freaking human. So, you know, and I can absolutely see why they want the racial divide happening. I mean, keep them divided and they won't band together and rise up against us. So,
Yeah.
and we all see it is what's so bad about it. And luckily, with people like the Hodge twins and Tank Patriot,
Yeah.
the more collective we all become as the human race, not race says, the more people are going to go, oh, okay, no, he's right. And I think this news with, Michael Jackson coming out, I think that's going to be a huge hit. And I think, there's so many things that are going to be exposed that are just going to finally bring everybody together as it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I agree, man. That's you answered it perfectly, and that's totally where I was headed with that question. I've got, growing up when I was 15 years old, I had a best friend that was black, and he was amazing. I mean, he's still friends with me today and still keep in touch. And I don't give a fuck about what color you are or what you're doing or what your job. I don't care. At the end of the day, we all have a mission in mind, exactly like you said, and it doesn't matter. What's behind the patch, behind the American flag is what matters most. So, um, I do want to wrap this up. So, Mike, any closing thoughts?
I like the fact that you touched on Michael Jackson there, because that was perfect. Because I mean, I had this thing in my head that during the Super Bowl, I thought that the weekend was Michael Jackson and all that, and I wish it would have come out and he would have done. Oh, what the hell was the
Moonwalk.
Well, not the moonwalk, but the what was the song that they did back in the 80s? We Are the World.
Yep, We Are the World.
Yeah. I think that would have been just freaking perfect if he would have went into that. Because I mean, you know, if you think back, that song, they were trying. They were trying then. And I mean, obviously, there was dark forces against that, obviously. But I don't know. We'll see what happens and go from there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly, man. Let's see what happens. And we know who said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tomahawk, floor is yours, man. Closing words.
Closing words, just keep the faith, hold the line. I mean, we're for the third time, I guess. I'm just gonna repeat it. We're on the winning side here.
Yeah.
So just keep the faith. Know that there's plans in work. The Patriots are in control. We see it every day. It might be a little sign, but it's still a sign. And as we all know, there are no coincidences. So just even the
God wins,
minuscule
baby.
things, pay attention.
Yeah. Well said, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and a lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away. So appreciate you guys. Love you like brothers, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, love you, man. Thank you. Love you, Mike.
Love you too, brother. Later, man.